Hey Cal fans, Burke18 here with California Golden Blogs, and today we're going to look at Cal's disappointing loss to Colorado. Now I say that this game was disappointing not only because we lost, although that's the worst part of it, but because this was the first game where we really got out-scouted and out-game planned on defense. To see this, we don't need to go any farther than Colorado's first touchdown, which came on a 3rd and 17 play. It looks like Cal's playing a quarter-half coverage here, with a cover 2 safety deep at the top of the field, and a quarter safety rolled down to about 12 yards at the bottom of the screen. The key thing to notice here is the leverage of this nickelback at the bottom of the screen, and he's lined up with an outside shade on the receiver that he's covering. So we can tell by his alignment that it's going to be his job to take away outside breaking routes, like corner routes or anything to the sidelines, and then he's going to try to force the ball inside to that quarter safety, who's his help player. With that in mind, let's run the play forward a little bit and look at the route distribution by Colorado. Colorado's in a trips alignment on this play, and they're going to bring their number 3 receiver across the formation to attack the far hash. This route's going to impact our coverage in 2 ways. The first way is that we're using an inside linebacker to take away the intermediate middle of the field, and so this route's going to occupy him. The second point is this route also attacks the weak safety, and so it's going to hold him on that left hash. When we run the play forward, we see the inside linebacker here with the number 3 receiver in the end zone, and the safety staying over the top of him, and this is going to vacate the middle of the field for the receiver who actually catches the touchdown. So that all explains why these two defenders weren't in the middle of the field. But remember that the nickelback was playing with outside leverage on his receiver so that he could force him inside to the quarters safety. So why wasn't this safety in the middle of the field to take away the touchdown? To understand that, we actually have to look away from the trip side to the single receiver at the top of the screen. That receiver's running a shallow cross, and as we run the play forward, we see the safety jumping down to defend it. That leaves the nickelback all alone on the number 2 receiver, and since he's playing with outside leverage, he's not going to be in position to take away this inside breaking route. Later in the quarter, we were once again able to get him in 3rd and 17, and they attacked us with the exact same kind of setup. Here, once again, we see that our nickelback is playing with outside leverage on the number 2 receiver. They're going to run the number 3 receiver across the formation to the far hash, and this is going to pull this defensive back out of the middle of the field, creating a void. They're then going to attack the outside leverage of the nickelback with a square in by the number 2 receiver, who's going to make the reception, break some tackles, and pick up the first down. Okay, so here's a third play, and by now when you see this look, you should be nervous if you're a Cal fan. We see that Colorado's in trips at the bottom of the screen, and that Cal's playing with their nickelback and outside leverage over the number 2 receiver. So here we're expecting the number 3 receiver to run over the middle and occupy the inside linebacker, and for the number 2 receiver to run a square in to take advantage of that void in the middle of the field. And that's exactly what we're going to see, but what's interesting is that on this play right before the snap, Cal's nickelback is going to jump from an outside leverage to an inside leverage position. This is going to put him in perfect position to take away this square in that's been giving us so much trouble, so this looks like a great adjustment. But the problem is that now with this inside linebacker occupied by the number 3 receiver, and with this nickelback occupied by the number 2 receiver, there's not going to be anyone on the outside to pick up the shallow cross, so Colorado's going to pick up the first down anyway. When I said at the beginning of this video that Colorado out-scouted and out-game planned us, this is the kind of thing I mean. What we've seen in this video is that they were able to rely on one play that could attack a variety of our coverages and a lot of the adjustments that they expected us to make. And unless this was the first game that Colorado ran this play in, which I highly doubt, it's the kind of thing that we should have seen on tape and that we should have been prepared to stop. All that said, this is one bad game in a season that's mostly been pretty good on the defensive side of the ball, and every coach is going to get out-schemed from time to time. It's not a question of do you ever have a bad game, it's a question of how often do you have a bad game, and when you do, are you able to bounce back and are you able to respond? And that's what we're going to be able to see this Saturday in our game against Oregon State. And so until then, go Bears!